And just like that, it's Friday. Good Friday, everybody. Does that have meaning anymore? I hope so. I hope so. Quite extraordinary what's going on. I hope you're all okay. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Or rather, what I should say is thank you for letting me join you. I'm Russ Kane. This is the Midday Show. Whether Phil or not is going to arrive, one doesn't know. But I know that the wonderful, pulchritudinous, a woman who looks at the silver screen with an erudite eye, Chantal Rickards, will be joining us at 12:30 because I spoke to her today, didn't I? Yeah, gave her a bit of a tinkle. Bit of a, how's everything going with her? She's fine. What are you doing for bank holiday weekend? I can tell you what I'm doing. Absolutely nothing. Nothing. I'm getting snowblind from looking at my diary. It's a weird thing. I know some of you are retired. Some of you are still working like crazy. I find myself at my advanced years never having worked quite so hard. It's insane. As a celebrant, it's been ridiculous, and wonderful and unexpected and a joy and a privilege and an honor. However, when you take your foot off the gas, I don't know if you feel this, when you take your foot off the accelerator and you think, don't have a funeral today, I can actually have a free day. Does your body collapse? Are you like so tired because the adrenaline has stopped and you think, and instead of being able to just have a day off and relax, you can't because you're just like, you're so wired the rest of the time. You're so wired, trying to get everything right, trying to make sure that everyone's looked after properly, trying to give the very best that you can. That's your job after all, and I won't accept less because I'm a worst critic. And it's just like, right, I got some free time, and it's just like, and you're like a zombie. Anybody else feel that? Let's have all your wonderful comments coming up now. Let's have all your fantastic comments coming up there. Let's see what happens. So that is it. So I had 2 free days this week. 2 days where I wasn't rushing off to a crematorium or a cemetery or anything, and I could actually have a little bit of relaxation. And I was just like wandering around like the living dead, like so just a walking dead. I don't know. Do we define ourselves by our work? I guess we do. Do we define ourselves by our work? I think that's kind of what we do. I think we define ourselves by who we are. Right. Lots happening. I'd like to know 2 things. One has really got my goat. Is that the phrase? Or made my blood boil. Yeah, baby. The narcissistic twerps who went into space on Jeff Bezos's huge vibrator thing that went into space. Well, it's not really going into space, to be honest. It's just going high, not actually going into space by the proper definition. So I'm just like so angry about it. I'm not angry that these women, these very entitled women, could afford to do it. Good luck to them. I'm not one of those people who say, someone said, they bought a Lamborghini and they could have given the money to the poor. No, you've got enough money that you want to buy a Lamborghini, you want to buy £100,000, gold-studded Rolex. None of my business. It's your money. Do what you like with it. That's always been my view. I've never understood when people on social media, they should have given it to. No, mind your own business. They can give it to what they like. They've earned it. It's their money. All right. So that's all fine because people say, you're jealous. No. What I'm annoyed about is the following. I thought it was a huge insult to true astronauts because they're calling themselves these entitled Botox, duck-billed women. All look the same, don't they, really? They're calling themselves astronauts. They're not astronauts, okay? Buzz Aldrin was an astronaut. Neil Armstrong was an astronaut. Michael Collins was an astronaut. Right? They're not astronauts. They're passengers. They're passengers on a very expensive Disney ride which is fully automated. There's no switches, clicks, buttons, screens, nothing. You get in, you look out the window. Of course, they didn't look out the window, which boggles my mind. You're given an opportunity of a lifetime to go higher than anybody else, apart from Timothy Leary. And you take selfies. It was the absolute epitome of the self-centered, self-obsessed, idiots that we are supposed to admire. And we don't admire them. The whole trip, right? Thank you, Michelle, all the way from Sydney, Australia. Michelle Vaughan is agreeing with me. Thank you. Here's the thing. The whole freaking trip took 8 minutes. 8 minutes. And when they landed, the mainstream media, which we know is dead, but just don't admit that it's dead, and just keeps getting up, like Banquo's ghost, the mainstream were lauding these twerps like they were heroes. They weren't heroes. They got in a Disney ride. They went up for 8 minutes. They came back. Katy Perry, that twat, busy kissing the ground. Oh, come on. But what really gets my goat is that it's an insult to real feminism. It's an insult. They didn't push the boundaries of anything. They were just 6 or whatever it was, entitled women who had the money to pay for a Disney ride and a huge PR stunt for Jeff Bezos so we can buy more toilet rolls on Amazon. I get it. Very clever. All right. But they're not astronauts and they're not heroes. And the true feminine heroes are the unsung heroes who did all the work behind the scenes at NASA. The true heroes was the first proper woman in space. The true heroes were the female crews of the International Space Station. People who've spent their entire lives dedicated their entire lives to science, to mathematics, to studying. People who've been in the Air Force and gone through all the rigorous training. They're the heroes. So it was an insult to true feminism, of which I'm a huge fan, and I've always supported it. I've never wanted a gender pay gap, ever. Ever. We are absolutely equal. But this showboating with your faces that all look the same, that's not feminism. And that ghastly Oprah Winfrey. I'll be careful because they're very litigious. But Oprah Winfrey, right, crying because her friend Gail, whatever it is, comes to, oh, give me a break. She was gone for 8 minutes. Does she cry every time she goes to the bathroom and come out again 8 minutes later? I mean, it's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. So that's the thing that really got me. And it was the fawning and the, you're so fabulous. They're not fabulous. They're just very rich, entitled narcissists who got on a giant phallic symbol, went away for 8 minutes and came back on a fully automated Disney ride. And that's how I see it. And that's how most people with brain, see right through this nonsense. It's just nonsense. But it makes me angry that the mainstream media think it's so great. It's so insulting to women who work hard, who studied hard. What studying do they do for this? And they've got to be in sexy catsuits. Yeah. You ever seen astronauts? You ever seen anyone going into space in sexy blue tight little outfits? No, nonsense, for God's sake. Oh, it's just, I just think there's a parallel universe and I don't know what we're doing in it. I absolutely don't know what we're doing in it. It's so insulting to women who have had to fight their way up, break through the glass ceiling and study and do so much work. And the thing that really got me is the 2 genuine astronauts, who were stuck in space. And then you see on Facebook, no one was stuck in space. Listen, you idiots. They were stuck there for 9 months. They were stuck for 9 months on the International Space Station. They couldn't get them back. Right? And who saved them? Elon Musk, not NASA. NASA couldn't arrange. I mean, they should have phoned Uber or something. NASA couldn't arrange to pick them up. Something had gone horribly wrong. So who saved them? Elon Musk sends his rocket up, rescues these two people from the International Space Station, brings them down. They've been stuck there for 9 months. These women went up there for 8 minutes and they're being lauded as heroes. So here's where the mainstream media sucks, right? Sucks. Because it was Elon Musk and because, they have to have their political agenda, right? And they still can't get over that Trump won despite all their lies, all right? The fact that Musk rescued these two people made the media for about, 35 seconds next to page 82 on the Greyhound racing results, right? And these entitled twerps who go up for 8 minutes like you're a hero. How can that be balanced? See what I'm saying? I know Michelle down in Sydney, Australia, watching now. She's agreeing. I'd love your views. Give me your views. Tell me what's happening. Anyway, that was that. Now, the Supreme Court in the United Kingdom this week, thank God, some common sense that men can't be women. Really? It took judges to say this? Is this how mad the world has gone? I just don't understand it. I look at this and I go, what the hell happened? I wonder when history looks back, and I mean on this period of time, they would just think the world went raving mad. Or was it all part of something? I mean, what the hell is that about? What's it about? Putting on a dress and saying you're a woman does not make you a woman. We all know what a woman is. And it's disgraceful that politicians can't give the definition of a woman. Are you just mentally ill? Seriously. Are you so shit scared of upsetting 3.5, tiny percentage of your voting base? Is that what it's about? It's disgraceful. These people shouldn't be leading us. If you can't define what a woman is, you have no right to be telling us how to run the country. And that's the same all over the world. It's madness. It's absolute madness. But I think we have to say who the heroes were in this. You have to say J.K. Rowling, who took the worst. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you. We won quite rightly so. Quite right. This was always utter madness and it should have been stopped right at the beginning. Right at the beginning, this crap should have been stopped. It's absolute mental illness. It's nonsense. If you're a bloke and you want to wander around in a wig and a dress, good luck. That's fine. Fine. You want to do that? Great. None of my business. I couldn't care less. But don't tell me I have to think you're a woman. You're not. You're a man in a dress, in a wig. That's what you are. That's what you are. Sorry. Well, I'm not sorry, actually. But it's fine. If you want to dress like that, I couldn't give a monkeys. Well, there's none of my business. Do what you want. Your private life is your private life. Same as mine is mine. Okay? But don't try to redefine proper science. Don't try to redefine biology. Don't try to con the world. Some people think it's brave. Some people think it's a mental illness. If I go around saying, well, I identify as a Formula One driver. Well, it doesn't make me a Formula One driver any more than they're an astronaut. I mean, there's some wonderful things. It's like, so when I fly to Los Angeles, sitting there, having a drink, eating some food and watching movies on the back of my chair, right? Does that make me a qualified airline pilot? No, makes me a passenger. You've got a headache. You come round for a cup of coffee, say, oh, Russie, I got a headache. I give you a pill. Am I a qualified surgeon? Am I a medical expert? No, I've gone to a cupboard and given you a couple of aspirins. This is all bullshit, isn't it? It's all ridiculous nonsense. Morning, Russ. I so agree with you, morons. Well, they are. They're sick. They're sick. But as I said, it's their right. You want to, if you're a bloke and you want to wander around in high heels and a wig and a dress and all the rest of this stuff, but don't tell us you're a woman. You're not. All right? You're a bloke dressed up. That's what you are. And that's fine. That's fine. But don't be delusional about this. Why? Veronica Curran is saying this, and I agree with that. They can do as they wish, but science can't be changed. And I object to not having use of toilets and changing rooms just to this. I think it's a perversion. I'm sorry, I think it's a perversion. If I walked into I'm in pick a place, doesn't matter, and I walk into a women's toilet, right? Everyone's going to scream at me, get the hell out, right? So I put a wig on and a dress, and I walk in. Logic would dictate you'd say, get the hell out. You're a guy in a wig and a dress, get the hell out of my toilet. It's you can't defy through science and biology. So who are the heroes in this? J.K. Rowling, who has been strong and brave. I've never met her. I'd love to meet her. Just for a minute, tell her how much I admire her. The Sharon Davis, the swimmer. Sharon Davis has been unstoppable in this. She's been magnificent in this. She's been great. And there's other people too. All right. And of course, some of these people have doubled down. And now they're saying, well, the law can't tell me what I am. Really? You know, some of the most vociferous blokes who are saying they're women, saying the law can't tell me what I am. You think? I'm not having a judge tell me what sex I am. Well, no, you don't need a judge. You don't need a judge. You just need a bit of science and biology. It's just, who's the guy with the moustache? Robert Winston, Lord Winston. I once did a speech with. And Lord Winston, who was basically blackballed out of media because of his comments on, I think it was Newsnight or something. BBC, of course, and everybody else owe him a huge apology. They owe him a huge apology. I'd like to think that this madness will end. As I said, you can do what you like. Do what you want. Do what you want. It's absolutely fine. But don't tell us what to think. That's the point of it. That's the point. Don't tell us what to think. And it's always the people on X or Twitter, as I still call it. I'm sure you probably do as well. And it's always, and in their bio, they've got be kind. And they're the worst. They're the most angry and they're violent. They're be kind. No, you're not kind. You're not kind at all. What is this madness agenda? When they started saying things like, there's 32 genders or there's 72 genders. Here's the deal. There's 2 genders. That's it. There's 2. Male, female. That's it. The other thing that I think, and I feel very strongly about this, and I don't know how you feel. I didn't know I was going to talk about this. I thought, I think it has done a huge disservice to the gay community. Gay community for years. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that it was illegal to be a homosexual. You'd be imprisoned, arrested, tried, and imprisoned for being a homosexual. Not that long ago, right? At all. It was a criminal offence. Well, it's not a criminal offence now. And it should never have been a criminal offence, And I'm not going to go down the road of some of my best friends are gay and some of my cousins are gay. I'm not going to go down that road. What I'm going to say is this, right? I think this whole transgender fantasy has been a huge disservice to the gay community. Because I think people who don't have the time, interest, or intellect to look into it label everybody the same. They label everybody the same. And I thought, well, maybe that's just me. I think it's very unfair that the gay community have worked so hard, tried so hard, and then these bonkers people come along, and destroy their work. The world and how people can identify as cats. Yeah, I mean, you're mentally ill. You don't walk into someone, I identify as a cat. Get some professional help, love. Get some professional help. You're not a cat. All right? you're a man or a woman. You know, you might be wearing a cat suit, but that's pantomime. You know, that's Dick Whittington. I know because I was in Dick Whittington twice, once or twice. Can't remember. Anyway, that's the thing. So I wanted to check out whether it was just me. So I asked my cousin, who is gay, been married happily to his husband for many years. I adore them. I absolutely adore them. They're lovely. They're just fantastic. And we can have a proper conversation about this. I don't have to, mince my words, so to speak, no pun intended. And I said, well, where do you feel on all this? And they go, yeah, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. They've lost a lot of friends. They don't live in the UK. They live abroad. They live in America. And they've lost a lot of friends through this. Oh, wow. What have we got? What have we got here from Veronica Curran? My young niece has gone through years, therapy, surgeries, and dear God. And now my nephew, okay, the gay community is being attacked due to this craziness, only to sex. Yeah, so you're, Veronica, just to be clear, for the heart of thinking, which would be me today, because I haven't had a coffee. I just had a tea. I didn't have my usual coffee. Your niece is now your nephew. I'm serious. Is that what you're saying? But you're also saying there are only two sexes. Yeah, male and female. Yes. It's not tricky. It's not tricky. And you really have to ask yourself, what is driving this? This is a tiny percentage of the population. 99.5% couldn't give a shit. They want to, have enough money to pay the rent, buy some food, and watch a bit of telly. That's kind of it, right? You got a roof over your head and food on the table. That's it. And everyone's struggling. Everyone's struggling, right? So your niece is now your nephew and gone through the whole process. Okay. That is very different from putting on a frock and a wig and saying you're a woman. Going through the entire surgical procedure, and I don't even want to know how that works, Veronica, I'm going to be honest. Because I might want lunch later. I really don't even can't wrap my head. Okay. But one of the things, and people have said this a lot, is sometimes when people have mental illness, and it can be for a variety of reasons, and don't forget we ran a mental health radio station for 6 years. When they have that, and then somebody comes up and goes, you know what the problem with you is? You know what's the problem? The problem is you are in the wrong body. And they're talking to someone who's mentally ill. And the person goes, you're right. I'm in the wrong body. That will solve everything. You won't, of course. But when you've got someone who is vulnerable and malleable and easily swayed, it seems like a catch-all solution, That's one of the things. I was also talking to my cousin about something else which just flabbergasts me as I'm not having a rant. Hello, Barry J. Allen. Oh, by the way, is your niece, who now your nephew, Veronica, I call him he, is your nephew now happy? Are they happy? And how old were they? How old were they when they did this surgical transitioning? Whew. And are they happy? Okay. So, is it a fashion? You look at all these Hollywood A-listers, I won't give you the time of day for, and you look at their kids and you think, what the bloody hell's going on here? Right? Is it a fashion accessory? What is that? But when I was speaking to my gay cousin in America, and I said, could you explain? Hello, Philip. I said, can you explain something to me? All right. Queers for Palestine. Queers for Palestine. All right. I just want to think about that for a second. Because homosexuals are, put it politely, frowned upon. In reality, thrown off the top of buildings or burned alive in places in the Middle East. So what kind of delusion are you working under to think that Queers for Palestine is actually going to work out? Go there. Go there. Go there with the openness that you can in Western culture. Go there. See how it works out for you. And as you're being thrown off the top of a building, or burnt alive or drowned, let me know how that goes. Now, Veronica Curran is saying this. Let's just see what she's saying. Exactly. Some are going through the process of change, but a dress and a wig don't make you a woman. Yes, he's content, and he waited till 21. Yeah, he's 25. Good. I think that some of the doctors who have been operating on children should be arrested and put on trial. I do. I think that what they've done is up there with Joseph Mengele. I think it's disgusting. You're experimenting. You're experimenting because you found vulnerable and often stupid people who are willing to listen, and you do the work. It's an extension of people who do terrible plastic surgery. You see these horrific botched jobs where the people who were perfectly nice looking come out looking grotesque and like monsters, and you think, well, there's no culpability here. You're not going to sue for looking like this. What the hell? Wow. I just wonder, who was it who said to me? It was my mate, Ray Gelato. Ray Gelato said to me about 3 years ago, he said, Russ, I think the world's had a complete nervous breakdown. And I think he's right. I think the world has had a complete nervous breakdown. How these tiny minorities who are entitled to do what they want, but don't tell us what you are and don't tell us what we have to think. It's bizarre, it's wrong, it's ludicrous, and in some cases clearly mentally ill. That's what it is. That's what it is. It's just, I don't know, and I don't know if it's too late. I just wonder how long people are going to just put up with it before they go, enough. In the immortal words of Howard Beale from Network, I'm mad as hell. I'm not going to take it anymore. And I think that's what we need to say. I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. And my final thing that I want to say before we bring on the wonderful Chantal, I never in my lifetime thought we would have political prisoners in the United Kingdom. Political prisoners. Shocking. For putting a few words, which were taken down quickly, in most cases on Facebook or Twitter, and in prison for what, 2 years, 3 years? It's a disgrace. And I just wonder how long before the British people say, you know, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take it anymore. I wasn't going to go into a 30-minute monologue, but there we are. That's what I did. So why the hell not? Ladies and gentlemen, we will lighten the tone. I know that is why Michelle over in Sydney has been waiting to see her friend. Flying Doctor to Woomera Base. Flying Doctor to Woomera Base. It's Shona. She's got snake bite. She's down by the mine shaft. Quick, Lassie. It's Chantal Rickards.
Hello. I owe Michelle a phone call. But we won't chat here. We'll chat later.
Okay, right.
How are you, Russ?
I'm okay, actually. I'm all right. I came up for air, as I was saying to all our wonderful listeners all over the world. I came up for air this week. It has been ridiculous, and 7 days a week for a long time. And I came up and I had 2 free days, and I didn't know myself. I didn't know what the hell to do. I was like, ooh.
Did you enjoy your own company?
Oh, I'm happy in my own company. Yeah. I'm happy for just listening to a book. I'm happy. I'm always happy in my own company. Yeah. Are you? Do you like your own company?
I need constant distraction.
Do you?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I don't like silence. I don't like. I'm very happy being on my own, but I have to be on my own with a radio, with an iPad, with the telly, with something around me that is making a noise.
It's funny. I'm the opposite.
Really?
I'm the absolute opposite. Yeah, I don't want the radio on. I have the radio on for the dog.
For the dog?
No, the radio's on for the dog. That's what she says. She listens to. I had to. She was listening to Radio 4, but I had to stop it because she became a communist. But I took her off Radio 4. So
So
she
what does she
listens.
listen to? What does she normally?
I'll try to tell you what she listens to. She listens to, what the hell? Classic FM at the movies.
Classic FM. Okay, I quite like that. She's got
No,
good-
but it's Classic FM at the movies, not just
yeah.
Classic FM, because I don't like classical music. I know that's a huge sweeping statement.
Right.
But afternoon, Russ and gorgeous Chantal says, and then we have, I'll be there soon making noise. Oh, God.
Excellent.
Oh, dear.
She will.
Mind you, I've got to be honest with you, Chantal. It sounds like a bit of a threat.
No, she's coming over. Hasn't been over for a long time, so she's coming to England this summer, which I'm looking forward to.
God, poor woman. She won't recognise London.
Well, I don't know. Why do you think London has changed?
Sheesh. Anyway, moving on from that particular bear trap. No, I'm happy with quiet. I'm happy. I never have the TV on before early as 6:37.
Really?
No, I won't have it on. Daytime TV? No, thank you. I just couldn't. Just can't. God. Have you ever, with daytime TV, which is
Yes.
you're an expert on, just listen to the sound without watching it, and all you hear is fake laughter, screaming over each other,
Yeah.
and you think, oh my God, and then you look up and you think, oh, and immediately think, well, why is that even on? But I can't bear it.
No, I won't have that sort of daytime telly on. I mean, I made this morning. I was a producer on this morning, so I know what it's like, and I sort of enjoyed my time there. It was a difficult time for a number of reasons. It was not the happiest team I've ever worked with.
Now everyone's thinking, oh God, who was on the team? Who was presenting? Who was presenting? Now I know what they're doing. Everyone around the world, they're going, who was it? No, we got to know.
Well, it was the original team, I'll tell you that much. But I'm not. I think it's probably best that I don't go into why it was a tricky time.
No.
Tricky time for me personally.
We want every juicy detail. Are you kidding?
No, I'd never work again.
Oh, well.
Not that I want to. But yeah, some production teams are just fun and fabulous, and every minute is a blast. But that wasn't one of those production teams. So, but it's it's pretty high pressure, considering that the output is pretty inane.
It's moronic. It's absolutely moronic. I'm not being rude to you, and I understand why they're doing it. And they've obviously done a hell of a lot of research, but it's like, oh my God, really?
Yeah.
The thing that bugs me, I'll be honest, and I'm not being rude, but I'm being very serious, is they take an incredibly complicated issue, such as mental health, and they bring on some Herbert and give them 3.5, 4 minutes, as if that will do it.
Yeah.
And the inferences, the subtext is, oh, listen to this, doctor, whoever it is who happens to look handsome or pretty. I'm sorry, but you know what I'm saying. And your problems will be solved. They won't be solved. You can't do these. Things take time. And it's just like, I always say, I think I did in my stand-up, like they have somebody on and, oh, well, and if you are suicidal, do call this line. And coming up next, floaty summer fashions. And it's like, what are you doing here? You're messing with people's lives. Stop it. It's not right.
I have to say, I've very much felt that when I worked on that show, that the heavy stuff I thought couldn't be handled in depth enough and well enough. Because that wasn't the environment that those pieces were placed in. It was supposed to be light and frothy and uplifting and fun. And then suddenly going to something that was really dark didn't quite sit. But anyway, it is what it is. But yes, that's not what I've got on in the background.
Oh, no. I'm interested. Do you have other what channels would you have on the background? I'm just being nosy.
Well, I've got a drama on in the background because I'm trying to review things for this week's for Fridays. So I've nearly always got a drama on, if not a drama, a documentary. And then I will have quite a lot of the American late night shows because I quite like American satire. I prefer British satire, but we don't do as much of it. And do you know, I've sort of stopped watching the news, which is...
I stopped years ago. I can't bear it. Cannot bear it. But it's not news, it's propaganda.
Yeah.
It's not news. I've gone on and on and on about this. It comes with an agenda. And the language that it comes with is so biased. And it's not news.
Yeah.
And everything is twisted to fit an agenda of the producers or people like John Simpson and all those others. I don't want to get up into it. I won't listen to it. Thank God for X. Thank God for X. Where
yes, I haven't been on X for a long time. So
some of it's an absolute cesspit, but you do see stuff that is never, ever covered. Covered. And it's like, why isn't this being discussed? This is shocking, or that's wonderful. It's not all bad. Why isn't this stuff being... I signed a petition today. Some golf course or something, and there's a beautiful, very rare tree. It's like 400 years old, and they just chopped it down. They just chopped it down.
Is this the one that the restaurant chain has chopped out?
I think it's what. So I signed the petition. I put the petition link up on my social media, and people can say, "Well, nobody died." Nobody got bombed from 35,000 feet. Nobody got blown up in the Manchester Arena. It's a tree. Yeah. I get that. But it's a 400-year-old tree, and just upset me. Just trying to get down to a human level. There should be there should be responsibility and culpability. Don't just do that and think you're going to get away.
What was the petition for? Was it for to make them accountable for what they did? It was.
It was to have an inquiry.
Yeah.
And just say, who gave permission for this? Why was it done? And if it wasn't done with proper permission, there should be accountability for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can't replant the tree, and wait 400 years.
Yeah.
But we've got for me, I suppose you cling on to little tiny bits of hope and normality and, a beautiful tree. And I'm not a tree hugging person, but a beautiful tree. And you chop it down. It's just so, as I said, emblematic of a thoughtless throwaway society. That's what upset me.
Yeah, no, I tend to agree with that. I don't think we should chop down trees because I think they belong to the planet, really. And we can't take them with us. So leave them alone. It's... And
here, did you see that thing? Because of the Eco Summit or some other bullshit that they dream up every 5 minutes, because it's all crap, as we know, right? They drove a highway right through the Amazon. They drove a highway. They just chopped it down. It's like, I'm sorry. Whoa, hang on a minute. Whoa. Well, this is an eco summit, and you've just destroyed what? To build a highway so all these, these freeloaders can just drive along in a limo? Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up about it. It's like Prince Charles goes to Italy. King Prince Charles. Sorry, he's always been Prince Charles. King Charles. I
called him Prince
Charles. King Charles. It's always Prince Charles in my head. Yeah. King Charles goes to Italy, does this whole thing about climate change. Okay. Right. Don't fly your Bentley over to Italy if you're going to lecture us. Of course he did.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, it was the magnificent one-off Bentley that was built for our very much missed late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. It's a magnificent machine. Do I have a problem with him driving in that? No, he's the king. Fabulous. I don't want him in a mini convertible or something. Drive a... Yeah, you're the king. Great. And show the Italians how it's done. Great. But don't then lecture us about CO2 emissions and climate change. Is bullshit. That's the worst kind of hypocrisy.
Bad move. He should have turned up in a Michael Caine Mini, really, shouldn't he?
He should have got out, should have had a Union Jack on the roof and just... I only ask you to blow the bloody doors off. That would be great. That would have been fantastic. Right, what have you seen this week?
Right, well, that leads me extremely well into a documentary that I've absolutely just enjoyed, actually. 3 hours worth of documentary that appeared on Netflix sometime this week.
Okay.
And again, it's a Guy Ritchie production. I mean, Guy Ritchie,
Wow.
I think, must have been asleep for 20 years. And suddenly he's had something to do with 3 projects that I've watched in the last 3 weeks.
He discovered coffee. I think he discovered espresso coffee is what it was.
Maybe he discovered espresso coffee. Anyway, this is a very good documentary series called The Diamond Heist, which I sort of don't even really remember that well.
Nope.
Just take your mind back to the Millennium Dome, which was, the national joke.
I remember this.
Yeah, well, you do.
Oh, I do now. Oh, yes.
Right. Well, it was a sort of gangster heist a la Guy Ritchie, where some bad lads from Essex drove a JCB into the Millennium Dome, through the walls at the side, to steal a 202-carat diamond. I mean, I must have been doing something else that week because I barely remember it.
Oh, yeah.
But 25 years later, the thing about leaving these things for some time and then going back to the story so much later is there are so many people who now want to talk about it. And also, all the criminals are out of jail. And
they're out now?
Yes, and they're all really happy to talk about it. So you've got the coppers talking about it.
Yeah.
And, of course, they love to brag of what happened. You've got the crims talking about it. And actually, they're all rather proud of the fact that they took part in this extraordinary case. Then you've got the people from De Beers, which is absolutely fascinating, and I won't tell you why, but stay right through to the end of episode 3. And then you've got the journalists who knew exactly what was going on, who then effectively climbed into bed with the Sweeney Todd Flying Squad. For our American listeners, who climbed into bed with the police because they had also been tipped off about the fact that this crime was going to take place. Anyway, it's a really well-rounded documentary. It's got a bit of that Guy Ritchie. There's a lot of reconstruction in it, and the reconstructions are very much done in the Guy Ritchie style. So it's slightly overplayed. It's slightly overblown. There's quite a lot of effing and blinding.
Surely not.
Yep, just a bit. Well, there's a bit too much effing and blinding, but it's still really, really watchable. And it's on Netflix. It's just come out. It's a 3-parter, and I would highly recommend it. It's quite funny. I mean, one shouldn't laugh at crime, but it is quite funny because when you hear them talking about what actually happened, and clearly there were criminals involved and they did go away. So I'm not giving away very much by telling you that it all went horribly wrong. But it's really interesting to see how they put the whole thing together. They got their families involved, but then also, interestingly, it's juxtaposed with the story of one of the daughters of the major criminal, who is now a woman in her early 30s. And she was talking about it from her perspective. I thought it was completely fascinating. It's really worth, 3 hours of your time.
Yeah.
So watch it. I think you'll enjoy it.
Be better than me just going through. I don't know what's happened to my mind at the moment. I think because I've been so busy and I'm tired and I just can't watch TV. So I'm just watching on the TV. I'm watching YouTube and all sorts of ridiculous channels that I particularly enjoy. Some are drumming channels, some are car channels, some are WWE channels, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, 3 hours of that, I could definitely. That sounds good. That sounds very good.
It's fun. It's very Boise, but I think it's really good fun. And
extremely. Now you have your finger on the pulse of everything. I have a question for you. In all seriousness, I love Death in Paradise and I love Beyond Paradise. And Michelle, I quite like the Australian one, which is coming back for another season.
Good.
They teased it. That's my least favorite, but it's very watchable. It's my kind of least favorite. But Paradise Cove. Do you think? Have you noticed? I don't know if you still watch it, but it's got slightly a harder edge to it now. It's really interesting.
What?
Better,
All of
all
the
better for it. Yeah. There's a
Uh,
harder edge to it. The main protagonists are slightly, a little bit edgier, a little more like an actual policeman. I know it's fantasy. I get
okay.
that. I'm just wondering if because it's
Uh,
Robert Thorogood who is
Robert Thorogood is
what a
creator.
brain box he is.
Right.
Robert
Yeah,
Thorogood.
clever,
Wow.
clever man. I guess I suppose so. I mean, the Australian one is slightly less fluffy than the
Yeah.
British ones that we've had.
Yeah,
And I think the Caribbean one, yes, again, it's slightly less comedic. They're not playing laughs in the same way that they used to.
and also the Chris Marshall character in the
Yeah.
one Beyond Paradise down in Devon, Cornwall.
Devon Cornwall, yeah.
Look, it's south of Hampstead. That's all I know. So he's suddenly gritty, a tiny little bit grittier.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I haven't seen the new series.
Oh, it's good, but there's some bits when you think, yeah, I love the way you're developing this. What do I know? I'm a huge. I think Robert Thorogood. I mean, he does the Marlowe Murder Club. That's him as well.
Yeah. Very clever man. Very clever.
What a clever man.
Yeah.
Clever man.
So,
Michelle is saying Love, Death in Paradise.
Yes, it's great.
Yes.
What you are also going to love, because I know you love it, and I talked to you very recently about the 3rd series coming out, and rather bizarrely, the 4th series has come out about 4 months after the 3rd series, which makes no sense whatsoever. No. And for those who have never seen this series, you absolutely need to go right back to the beginning and watch the whole lot. Anyway, series 4 of Hacks has just come out.
Hacks.
That's your weekend sorted out.
That's it. That's me done.
Yeah, Jean Smart, the character is an aging comedian from Las Vegas who's trying to make it big in Hollywood with a late night chat show. Her chief writer is slightly cranky, acerbic young woman called actress Hannah Eindbinder, who is absolutely brilliant. And it's really the love-hate relationship between the two of them.
Do you know I saw her in stand-up?
Did you?
In London, yeah.
Really?
Yeah. A couple of years back now.
Oh, okay.
It was in Soho. She did. I can't remember which theatre. It was one of the little ones in Soho, and she slayed that night. She slayed.
Really?
She was terrific. Do you know who she's the daughter of? Don't you?
No, I haven't got a clue.
All right. When I lived in America, there was a little show just starting called Saturday Night Live.
Yes, we know that show.
Right. And she was Lorraine. Oh, I've got my bloody surname. Lorraine's daughter. There was one of the original cast members with Belushi and Dan Aykroyd and the rest of the wonderful Gilda Radner. Oh, I loved Gilda Radner.
Oh, really?
Oh, I loved her. And there was another one called Lorraine. Help me out, everybody.
I don't know.
It's her daughter.
Okay.
That's where she gets her comedy chops from.
Well, it's very clever. So, she'll feel right at home in series 4, which I watched the first episode and I suddenly went, oh, there's my flat, which is exactly what I did when I was watching the latest series of Bosch about 4 weeks ago. There was an aerial shot of my apartment block. And then suddenly here, there's a sequence where she's driving away from the CBS studios on Beverly Boulevard. And directly behind her, because my old flat overlooked CBS studios, directly behind her is my apartment. And I thought,
was that where I stayed?
No.
That's where I stayed.
No, it's where I lived.
Not that one.
Yeah, no, it was called the Broadcast Centre. It's where I lived.
Oh, okay. Lorraine Newman. Thank you, Philip.
Oh, Lorraine.
Yes, she's Lorraine Newman's daughter. Thank you, Philip. I couldn't think of her name. Thanks.
Right. Well, anyway, Hack Season 4 is back on Sky and Now, depending on which one of those services you've got.
Right.
Won more Emmys than you can shake a stick at last year at the Emmys and Golden Globes and goodness knows what.
Oh,
it's incredibly well written, and the two lead actresses are fantastic. The wit is acerbic. It is so sharp and pointed and angular and completely out of order. And I love it for all of those reasons.
Yes, I love the
But go back to
it's really like watching Joan Rivers. I mean, she's kind of, I'm going to say based on Joan Rivers, kind of.
sort of, she's like the Joan Rivers character who suddenly, right from the very beginning in season 1, her career is over. It's come to an end. And then suddenly she gets a new writer, and it's about their relationship as the character grows and grows. Both characters grow.
It's lovely because they've given up on this kind of Joan Rivers character.
Yeah.
And the agent, if I've got it right, please tell me if I've got it wrong. And the agent just wants to get this woman who's off their back at the agency, it's like CAA or something. And they send this writer who's completely wrong, totally wrong for the role. And that's like part of the pivot of the story, which is just fantastic. I thought it was very close to, I think, how people probably are. I mean, there's a scene where she's in her Rolls Royce because they made fortunes. Did you ever see Joan Rivers' flat in New York? Oh my God!
I saw a documentary made with Joan Rivers at her flat, but I never.
Unbelievable! It's like Versailles. Anyway, so she's driving and the Rolls Royce gets a flat tire or something.
Yeah.
And she's with the Lorraine. She's with the writer, the young writer, and they're in the desert, and it's like a gazillion degrees. And she says, "Well, stay with the car. I've called up." She says, "Oh, fine, thank you." Helicopter. She says, "How are we going to get back?" She says, "Well, I don't know how you're going to get back, but I've called for Charles." And the helicopter lands. She buggers off, and the poor writer's left the dust of the middle of nowhere with a Rolls Royce.
Yeah,
I bet that's how it's like.
Well, I think it's shaping up to be a very, very good 4th series. So
yes.
Yeah.
Have you watched series 4 of Only Murders in the Building? Because series 3 was flat. Series 1 and 2, utter genius. Yes. Series 3, I thought, oh, this is weak. But I hear series 4 is very good, but I wondered if you've seen it. Right. Only Murders in the Building.
No, and in fact, I'm only just up to season 3 of Slow Horses, but I've just been back and redone series 1 and series 2, and it is a beautifully made series. Anyway, so that's
I might bite the bullet and get a free Apple for a month and binge watch Slow Horses.
You really should. Well, both Apple and Disney Plus have got some great stuff on at the moment. Really good stuff.
Okay.
So especially if you've got all this free time on your hands.
Well, I don't. Here's the thing, right? And I don't know if you'll understand this. I think you will, but you march to a different drum to me because you're much more normal.
Oh, I'm a girl, by the way.
And you're a girl, just think of that. And if you identified as a girl, and we all applaud that, if I find myself with free time, having worked 7 days a week for I don't know how long at the moment, I feel guilty, and I have to do something. Me and too. It's like my little voice is saying, "What is the matter with you? Stop it. You've been working through weekends and everything. Stop it. It's okay to have a little bit of downtime." And the other side is, no, you've got to be doing, you can't do that. And I beat myself up about it. I'll be honest. I can't get over it. It's silly. And I know it's silly.
That little voice in me never breaks through and tells me to sit down and relax. The big, loud, noisy voice says, get off your behind and do something.
Little voice.
So I can't not. I'm terrible, really. Anyway, there we are.
And what does that mean? Now, we got your... No, your mate, Michelle, down in Sydney, Australia. I'm so excited to have somebody from Sydney, Australia watching the show. Do you have Stan?
No, we don't have Stan. Stan is, for those that don't know, Stan is a channel in Australia, and it's got some very good drama on it. But we don't have the
Never
Stan.
Heard of it.
No, we have the Dave channel, but we don't have the Stan channel.
Yes, I love Dave. Whoever came up with that name, what should we call it? Dave. I think it's genius. I really think it's genius. What a great idea.
I was there.
You weren't. You were there?
Yeah, because I worked at UK TV when it was created. But I thought that what was even more brilliant was the +1 service, i.e. the service that is an hour delayed.
Yes, it's wonderful.
Was called Dave Javu, which I just thought was brilliant.
Yes,
I thought that was really clever.
Whoever came up with that, I applaud you because I've admired it ever since I saw it.
I think it's a very clever bloke I worked with called Steve North from memory. I think it was Steve North anyway. Yeah.
Oh, that is just so subtle and so clever. Right. So we've got these things. We've got the Diamond Heist, which is on Netflix. What's it called, by the way? Is it called the Diamond Heist? Or?
It's called the Diamond Heist.
Oh, great! Oh, great!
Yeah, easy, and you'll find it on the first line of Netflix because it's got big flashing lights.
New and popular.
Watch this. Watch this. Watch this.
Yeah, be that. Yeah.
You'll find that very easily.
Good.
If you want some total froth and bubble, it's a little bit girly. Drama. Child is kidnapped. It's not quite what you think.
It doesn't sound frothy.
Well, it's a little bit painting by numbers, but the premise is rather good in that sort of crazy busy mum picks up her kid late from school. Standing at the school gates is one of the teachers and a new mum with her daughter who's just made buddies with the other little girl. And she says, oh, well, why doesn't your kid come back to my house tonight and have a play date and a sleepover, and I'll bring them back tomorrow. The following day, the mum goes back to the school, to the house where she had left the child the day before, and there is only a cleaner standing at the door who says, this is just a rental property. Nobody lives here.
Oh, God.
I know. So it's...
Oh, my God. I've actually gone cold. Oh.
So the premise is quite good.
And that's really good.
It reeled me in. It's got that lovely actress in called Holiday Granger, who's in Strike.
Yes. Oh, her. Oh, yes. I like her a lot.
And she is the woman who has disappeared with the child. And then there is a sort of slightly irritating character, but she's meant to be irritating, who is Ambika Mod, who was in This Is Going to Hurt, who's the local journalist for the Manchester Free Rag or whatever it is. Yeah. And she goes, hang on, this is not all quite what it seems. This isn't just about a sort of crazed mother trying to kidnap a child. There's something more going on. And actually, there is something more going on. But this is not rocket science television. I'm just telling you, it's on Disney Plus. There are 5 episodes.
I'll give you. I could take a bet now and plot it for you. I could take a wild guess.
Oh, I bet you can't. I bet you can't. There are lots of backstories. Everybody has a backstory.
I wonder if it's her real child.
I'm not telling you another thing.
Oh, there we go. Damn! I thought I could just lure you in with my. Well, now this is coming in from Sydney, Australia. The Resident. Oh no, is it the Resistance or the Residents?
There's a news show called The Residents.
Oh, it's the Residents. No, I gave up on that. I might go back. I might go back to it. I might go back to it.
You got to go back. The one I'm talking about now is called The Stolen Girl.
What's it on?
What it says on the tin on Disney Plus.
I got to write it. Disney Plus.
5X.
You know why? Because I get messages after you've been on. What did she say? I missed the show. What did she say?
So Stolen Girl.
5X. The Stolen
Girl. Disney Plus.
Brackets, not rocket science, but watchable.
All right. Disney Plus. And we got the Diamond Heist.
Diamond Heist and Hacks.
Yeah. Heist. And Hack.
Got
Seriously.
Do you know what I have for my work? What I bought myself? And I'll tell you what I did. I got a little mini whiteboard.
You did. Yeah.
And on the mini whiteboard, it's like, instead of bits of paper and everything, I know that anything that I think of on my mini whiteboard, write it down, can wipe it off when it's done.
But why don't you just write it onto your iPad and then it'll
tell I don't
actual words, and then you could keep it if you needed to.
Because Eric Morecambe slow burn. Because I like real visual reminders, and having a little whiteboard by my desk of urgent things that need to be done, or things if I don't write it down immediately won't get done. I don't want it lost in the sheafs of paper. I like that. Here we got Philip Harley. I love Chantal. Form an orderly queue, Philip, if you don't mind, and her wonderful reviews, indeed, which makes me want to watch them. But Is this the right time? I don't have Netflix, which is rather frustrating. No, you're missing very little on Philip. I've got to be honest with you. You're missing very little on Netflix. A lot of people I know are giving Netflix up and going over to, as Chantal says, to Apple or Disney Plus. Netflix is okay. It's not. It was fabulous. It's not as great as it was. And if you can find any movies on Amazon, good luck, because boy, oh boy, they are. And Michelle, don't have what are we saying? Don't have Disney, but enough streaming to watch. There you go. There we go. That's it, and that is it. So we've got Stolen Girl on Disney Plus, Diamond Heist, and Hacks.
And lots of other things too, but we'll wait until next week.
Well, I hope you have a lovely, lovely Easter week. It is Easter. I'm going mad. Every day's the same to me. Have a lovely, long Easter weekend.
I will.
And enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
And we will see you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Ain't going to happen. So ain't going to happen. Bye, Chantas. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Isn't she great? She's just marvelous. Anywho, thank you for watching all over the world, all over the UK and Australia. Could be better, could it? Thank you for your company. Really appreciate it. We'll be back. We may not be back on Monday. We can have a little think. Maybe give Neil the day off. And as it's a bank holiday, Michelle over here in the UK. Until then, Neil will be definitely back on Wednesday. We'll be back on Friday. Michelle will be working. I'll notify the media straight away. Anyway. Have a wonderful time. And if you're in the UK, have a great bank holiday weekend. Until we meet again, goodbye. And no hurty words. Word to the wise.